One of the most exciting things about the announcement of Pokemon Sun and Moon is the fact that there will be a whole bunch of brand new Pokemon to use on our journey. And what I'm most excited to see is a new starter Pokemon. In previous games, the trainer is given an option between Grass type, Fire type, and Water type starter Pokemon. So I thought it'd be a pretty cool idea to take a look at the top 5 possible starters for each of these types in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Since there's so much to talk about for each typing, I thought it'd be a smarter idea to split this into 3 separate videos. In this video, we'll be focusing on the top 5 possible Fire type starters for Pokemon Sun and Moon. All artwork I use in this video will be credited in the description below. Anyways, let's get into this. The first starter design we're going to be taking a look at is a Fire Zebra starter Pokemon. Who would have thought that a starter based off of a zebra would look so fitting for the Fire type? I personally love this design and would love to see it as a starter Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Moon. I think the yellow and black stripes correspond really well with its orange body, and having a tail made purely of fire is also a pretty cool concept. Unfortunately, the artist did not make this Pokemon's second stage and final evolution, so we can only speculate on what the final stage evolution of a fire type zebra starter may look like. I think this Pokemon's final stage evolution would develop a really intricate and intimidating pattern across its body. It would also have a massive mane across its back, with a larger fire tail. If this Pokemon were to be introduced in Pokemon Sun and Moon, I could see it having a high speed and attack stat, whilst remaining a pure fire type. A Pokemon I've wanted to see for a while in Pokemon games is a Koala Pokemon, and I found this really cool design for a fire type starter evolution based off of a koala, which would be perfect. The first stage evolution is a reasonably simple design of a koala, which has really cool flames coming off of its wrists. The simplicity of this design could make for a really good starter Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Moon. The artist also created this Pokemon's second stage and final evolution. I'm not really a big fan of the second stage evolution, so instead we're going to be focusing on the final evolution. I think this looks so great. It honestly has to be my favorite design on today's list. If this Pokemon were to be introduced in Pokemon Sun and Moon, I could see it having a high HP and attack stat, with rounded defenses and speed. Its typing would be likely to remain a pure fire type, or it could also gain the fighting type. The next starter Pokemon we're going to be taking a look at is the fire type starter from a fan-made Pokemon game called Pokemon Sage. I think that a starter Pokemon based off of a goat would be pretty cool. And the fire typing definitely offers the potential for a unique design for this Pokemon. This artwork is exactly what I pictured a fire type starter based off of a goat to be like. It's a simple design and would work really well for a starter Pokemon. The color scheme looks great, and I especially like the orange horns and feet. As well as this, the Pokemon has a fire tail, which only adds to the design. The second stage evolution also looks really great, but what I'm most interested in is the final evolution. This design is perfect. I'd love to see a Pokemon evolutionary line like this in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Stat-wise, I could see this Pokemon as a physically bulky, hard-hitting physical attacker, and it would most likely remain a pure fire type. Or it could even be fire steel typing, since its final evolution gains what looks like metallic horns and feet. The next starter on this list is based off of another animal that I think would make a great starter Pokemon, which is a Hippo. And when I found this artwork of a potential Hippo starter Pokemon, I instantly put it on the list because it's exactly what I'd want a Hippo Pokemon to look like. The design is pretty straightforward. It's a red Hippo with flames coming off its front legs. The artist also included this Pokemon's second stage and final evolution. To be honest, I wouldn't expect to see a starter Pokemon quite like this in Pokemon Sun and Moon, but it was the best Hippo fire type starter I could find, and it provides a lot of insight into a potential Hippo starter Pokemon. What I like the most about this starter is its final evolution. Stat-wise, I could see this having a high defense, special defense, and HP stat, as well as a decent special attack stat. And I could see this Pokemon being a fire dark type. The final starter Pokemon we're going to be looking at in today's video is this. Now, I'm not really too keen on this Pokemon's first stage evolution at all, and I honestly can't really see something like this happening in Pokemon Sun and Moon. But what I'm more interested in is this Pokemon's second stage and final evolution, which is definitely a possibility to be the basis for a starter Pokemon design in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Now, the only thing that I have against this is the Pokemon's strong similarities to Typhlosion. But despite that, I think another Rodent Fire-type starter is a massive possibility to be in Pokemon Sun and Moon. This Pokemon has a dark grey body, which goes really nicely with the orange and grey on its body, and I think it's a pretty cool design. Stats wise, I could see this Pokemon having balanced stats all around, maybe with a slightly higher speed, HP, and attack stat. And it would most likely remain a pure Fire type. So that's going to wrap up today's video, taking a look at the top 5 potential Fire starter Pokemon for Pokemon Sun and Moon. Stay tuned because a video looking at the top 5 potential Water type Pokemon will be uploaded in the near future. And I've already uploaded the top 5 potential Grass type starter Pokemon if you haven't seen that already. All of the artist's work who I used in this video will be fully credited in the description. I definitely recommend you go and check them out because there are a lot of other really awesome fake Pokemon designs that they have made. And while you're waiting for my top 5 potential Water starter Pokemon video to come out, why not take a look at my top 5 potential Grass type starter Pokemon by clicking the annotation on the screen. I'll see you guys later.